Luz y progreso, paz y justicia. This is Ancista Brujo Luis. So I want to show you something that broke my heart. So if you know me, you know that I own around 6 shamanic drums. Buffalo and bison and cow and goat, they all have a spirit of themselves, right? But shamanic drums are a tool that we need to take care of. There is a living, breathing spirit within the drum. Now, I have seen people that buy drums because they think it's cool to have a drum, and then they ignore it, and you offend the spirit, right? You offend the spirit, and the drum can go really flat by not being taken care of. This is a living, breathing entity. And so I have 6 drums. I'll show you. And I try to take care of all my drums, right? Once every spring, I feed them with some oils. But I'm going to show you this one. This is a buffalo drum, and I show you what happened. So here is my drum, and I want to show you. Again, I've got 6 drums, and I oil them down. I try to keep them in a place where it's not super cold. There's enough moisture. Dry air sometimes can be very detrimental to our drums. But I woke up, my drum was really tight. And then I realized it was so tight because of the dry air, because there's no rain. Hasn't been rain in a while. Where is it? Let me find it. Okay, there it is. You probably cannot see it. See that indent? The hide got so tight that it started tightening up against the frame, and it broke it. Let me turn off the flashlight. So you probably can't see it on video, but look at that. The hide got so tight because of the lack of moisture, the lack of rain that we haven't had, that the air has been so dry. You can see it broken right there, and there's an indentation within my drum. Let me show you the opposite. So I'm trying to get a good view of it, and you can see it right there, the indentation of one of my drums. I picked it up. It was so dry and so tight, right? I had to water it down, and as I was watering and oiling it down, sprinkling it with water, I saw this indentation. I'm like, oh my God, if I hadn't come, if I had left it a few days more, it would have completely cracked the drum. Let me show you the inside. I don't know if you can see that. Look, it broke the wood. If I had ignored it, if I had not paid attention or seen it sooner, it would have completely just broken, and then this drum would not be playable any longer. So I didn't want to go on camera. I just woke up not that long ago. Here is my drum. I take care of all my drums, right? Having 6 drums, sometimes you might forget. I must have used this in a ceremony last summer, and I put it in a bag, and I left it in the closet, and it got super dry. You probably can't see, I don't know if you can see the indentation right there. A drum is for me, one of the most sacred tools that I have. I have 6 drums. Each one holds a spiritual energy. This one is buffalo. I have buffalo. I have goat. I have cow, bison. So I have a few drums, right? Each drum has its energy, has its feeling. It needs to be treated and respected as a sacred tool. Right? If you own a drum and it was fed and charged and consecrated, and the spirit was awakened by a curandero, a brujo, un chaman, right? This needs to be treated as a living, breathing entity and should not be ignored. Just like you wouldn't ignore the plants in your house. You gotta water it down, you gotta take care of them. If you're gonna own a drum that is consecrated, don't put it away and ignore it, right? It needs to be fed at least twice a year, and I feed them with either shea butter, cocoa butter, I give it tobacco, I sprinkle it with a little bit of water, not too much. Tobacco corn, I feed it with corn. But thankfully, I was able to save this drum. If I had waited a few days more, Lord knows what would have happened. Thankfully, she still has this beautiful sound. Let me see if I can do it this way. I'm sorry. This is my hand that I play drums with. So thankfully, I was able to save her. I love my drums. I love each of my drums. They are important to me. They're part of my spiritual work, right? I treat them with great respect. It is when I shamanize, when I go drumming, it is on this buffalo that I go into the upper, the lower, the middle realms. And so I feel like my poor buffalo, está cojo, is limp, right? There's the spirit still there, but it's a little limp. Which broke my heart, you know? This is a buffalo, these are not cheap, right? And so should be treated with respect. So my point of the video is treat all your sacred tools with deep respect. You know, one time I met this new age shaman. He said, oh, I don't need no tools to shamanize. I'm like, okay, that's good. How can you be an artist, right? How can you be an artist without a paintbrush? Your tools, a paintbrush, paint, paper. You can't be an artist if you don't have that. You can create it in your mind. How can you be a doctor, right, without your tools, without your stethoscope, or whatever you call these tools that doctors need? Shamanic practitioners, curanderos, brujos, we have our tools of our trade, and our tools should be treated with respect, right? These are not, they're living, breathing spirits, right? And should be treated with much respect. I respect my drums, and me respecting and loving my espíritus, especially my animal guides, right? You know, Juarez, sometimes you can be very careless, even a person who takes care of his spirits, right? So I was careless there, but thankfully I caught her in time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Salsista Brujo Luis. Chao, los quiero mucho. Bye. Bonito.